So, thank you for joining us, Mick and Josh. I'll just start off by asking, how was lockdown? How did you find it? What did you get up to?
I was working, to be fair.
Yeah.
I only had 2 weeks off and I was working all the way through it, so I was pretty busy. Josh was a bit bored, wasn't he?
I did nothing.
Did you not?
Literally did nothing. No, on furlough, so that kept me busy doing absolutely nothing through the lockdown.
Did you find any new hobbies that you'd get into?
I've done quite a lot of running,
Yeah.
just keeping fit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
As you can see, Josh.
Well, that's getting edited out.
No, I love it. Yeah, that's fine.
So obviously the Boroughbridge result at the weekend didn't quite go your way, but we wanted to ask, how was it being back, playing like in an actual match? How did that go?
It was good to be back. In terms of the result, obviously the result was poor. To be fair, I thought we weren't quite at it. We had too many chances. Don't want to chuck it in because obviously it's first pre-season friendly. We're missing half the team. But we've learned from that. You know, we've learned about some players that are new to the club, and like I said, it's a new team, so some are yet to gel. But yeah, like I said, we've learned quite a lot about some of the players.
Yeah, that's good then.
Obviously, it takes like a long time to like gel a football team together. How do you like go? How are you going to go about doing that?
In terms of chemistry, these good players in there, experienced lads in there, they've got to then kind of put the arm around the young lads that are sat in the corner, got their own groups, talking to each other. So it's starting to come together ever so slightly, but I think normally it's a night out with all the lads, team night out, but that's struggling with all the measures that are in place, with all the tracking trace and the socially distancing. So best way to do it, the start of the season with a new team, is good old team night out, but that's looking going off.
Yeah. Have you missed it? Have you missed just the whole atmosphere of it all? Just
Yeah.
all of it?
It's obviously a pre-season like no other, because there's only so much you can do. We've only actually started contact training 2 weeks ago, something like that,
Okay.
3 weeks ago. But in terms of what you can do in terms of team bonding and stuff, you're very, very limited, because obviously we don't really want to be going out in big groups, because if someone gets coronavirus, then obviously we're all on lockdown again for 2 weeks. So we're trying not to go down that road. But yeah, it's a really difficult one, because you're trying to bring the lads together and you're trying to have a bit of banter out here, but until you sort of take them out away from football, it's really hard.
Yeah, that is.
I think it's the same with training as well. The fact that we started training with groups of 6, so all the lads want in contact with each other anyway. So you kind of have little cliques with your three groups, your 4 groups of 6. So that's how we started it. So it wasn't ideal, but yeah, like Mick said, we're starting to come together now. So we're starting to slightly get that little bit of a bond.
No, it'll come. I think you're doing nice. You're doing well.
Thanks.
New signings. Can you give us like any insights into?
We've got a few that haven't been released yet. I think you guys are going to put something out tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I won't give away too much until he's put something out. But the lads we've got in the door, we're really happy with. We could probably do with maybe 1 or 2 more. They are in the pipeline also, but we want to get it sorted, done and dusted quite early. So, like we said, we can have 4, 5, 6 weeks with a group of players.
Yeah. Sooner rather than later. Yeah.
I think we've kind of looked for a certain type of player, because it's no secret we're not blessed with biggest budget in the league. So that's why we have gone down the route of younger players, sharper players, but also we've got players in there like Fraz, Dan McDade, Mike Morris, that have been around and want to see the club progress and want to see the club do well. So it's good to have them on board as well.
It's good to have a mix of.
It is, and I think that's going to be a key for a lot of teams in this league now, because the budget for a lot of teams is going to have to go down. They're not going to get the right sponsorships because of everything that's gone on with COVID. So I think a lot of teams will go down this route of younger players with a mix of lads that have been around for a while at the same club.
Yeah, I think with our background is where we both come from, sort of development background. So we do enjoy coaching young players and obviously progressing them, and hopefully they'll stay with us all year. But if someone higher up the pyramid comes in, then we'll let them go. Our blessing. But that's sort of what we're about. That's what we want to do. And like Josh said there, in terms of budgets and stuff like that, it's probably going to be, I won't say right across the board, but I think 90% of the teams up and down the country is going to be in the same boat this year. So, like I say, we're happy with the group we've got. I think we've got some really, really talented young players, and we're really excited to see them. Really.
Cool. And what are your hopes and dreams for this season? What are your expectations? What do you?
What's his hopes or what's his dreams? They're two very separate things.
What would be best case scenario within being realistic?
I know it's an all cliche, but we're just going to take one game at a time because you know, when we came in from where the club was, I mean, you know, we've had to put a lot of hard work in to try and get the club somewhere near. You know, we're playing catch up with a lot of clubs, which is why we've sort of brought you guys on board. We've had to build a team from scratch. But yeah, I know it's an all cliche and it doesn't help you guys, but it's just one game at a time. Keep improving week on week. You know, I don't touch wood, but I don't think we'll be obviously fighting relegation this year because we've got too much quality in the side. But that's performance levels. You know, we have to perform every week because there's no easy game in this league. And I think if you ask every manager this time of year, they'll all say that they've got a really good squad and they're really excited. But you know, the wheels can soon fall off.
Definitely, yeah.
Yeah, I think we've put more emphasis on the backroom staff and stabilising the club properly off the pitch before we've even thought about what we're actually going to do this year. You know, it's good that we've got the youth section on board now. It's good that we've got a media team, that we've got physios in now, we've got a goalkeeping coach. This is stuff what Railway haven't had for the last 4 or 5 years. It's not new. Teams around us have been doing this for the last 3 or 4 years. Like Mick said, we're just playing catch up. And the fact we're getting it done now gives us a little bit more stability where we can kind of pass a lot more jobs on to the likes of you guys, likes of different types of coaching staff. And we now can just solely concentrate on football, which is where we should have been when we first come in, but we won't. So hopefully now we can start properly concentrating and starting taking step by step forward.
Yeah, you said stability there. I think that's what it's done. All these keeper coaches and stuff like that. It's just all stability. It looks good. When I was down the other day, it looks good. It looks like everyone's organised. Just
what we want. If my biggest achievement this year would be to get the local community on board and get people back in the ground and get people enjoying coming down to the club again. You know, because you know, as you can see, the facilities down here are brilliant for this sort of standard of football, and we just need to get that sort of energy and that feel good factor back around the club.
yeah. You touched on injuries earlier. How bad is it, the injuries?
I wouldn't say we've got bad injuries, but we've got a lot of niggles, which would be like
reoccurring injuries. And I think the fact that the lads from March till June, July didn't really do all, we're starting to see different types of injuries, like we say, reoccurring, and they're not massive season ending. They just need 2-3 weeks of rest and just work. I think as soon as that happens, we'll be up and in right position to get to go forward again.
Yeah, it's not really to put us on the back foot because obviously at the minute they're saying the season starts September 5th, but you know who knows? It's some people are saying it's going to put back 2 weeks, so we don't really know. We just have to be prepared for 6th of September. You know, obviously it's great to have all these friendlies now, but in a great scheme of things, we've got to look after our players and get them on the pitch for the 5th of September.
Yeah, true.
You touched on about the younger players. If there was one player that you had to pick out that you think would have potentially a breakout season, who would that be?
Over you, this one, mate.
It's a difficult one really because you know, I don't want to be disrespectful to any of the other lads in there. I mean, in terms of young lads, I think we've got 3 or 4 in there with real raw ability. One that I think can go to the next level very quickly is Louis Hoare. I think if we can keep him fit, he's just recurred ankle ligaments, so he's going to be assessed tonight or tomorrow, see where he's at. But if we can keep him fit and sound, I think he can go to the next level very quickly.
I think we've got 4 or 5 like that are just on the outskirts of very good youth player that have been doing it at under 18s, under 21s level. but have not yet come into a first team environment. So I think we've got 4 or 5 like that, and that will then keep all the lads, experienced lads, on the toes. Because the last thing that an old one that's been around counties for the last 4, 5, 6, 7 years, last thing they want is an 18-year-old to come in and take the shirt. As soon as that happens, then they're going to have to step their game up. So I think this is why we've gone and brought in youth players, younger players that haven't got that non-league ego about them, that and said, well, I've been playing at counties for 10 years, I should be starting. They've come with a completely blank canvas, and it's good to see them push themselves in training and matches. So I think that's what we're most looking forward to. So it's hard to kind of pinpoint that one person.
Yeah, it's really difficult, but I mean, in terms of young lads, they just bring a lot of energy, not just on the football pitch, around the club in general. They bring a lot of energy with them, and you know it's the sort of players that we're after. So, but yeah, to be quite boring in my answer, I think there's a few of them in there that did get offered. There was 2 or 3 that got offered to go 1, 2 levels above this summer, and they stuck with us. So hopefully they can sort of drag us through the season.
Well, thank you, fellas. I've enjoyed listening to your answers. I've just got one quick question before you go. I'll just throw in a weird one at the end. If you could be any animal, what would it be and why?
Try to think of an Irish animal.
Yeah, probably a dog.
A dog.
Because you can just do what you want and get away with it, can't you?
Fair enough. What would you be?
Has it got to be? Can it be a mythical?
Anything you want, mate. Anything.
Dragon, isn't it? Everyone's got to be a dragon.
You watch too much bloody television.
I can fly. I can breathe fire. I'm bigger than everyone. You come at me, I'm just gonna fly away. Yeah, you all right? Be with your dog. I'll go be with my dragon.
Nice one. Cheers.
Spot on. Cheers, lads.